think that then when they go into the voting booth, they have to read one by one and say yes or no. It's not practical.
It is now a game of wait and see as counties prepare to debate the bill that is a subject of controversy among political players. For Channel 1 News, I'm Achieng'a.
Elsewhere, police in Kisumu are investigating a suspected arson case in Kisumu Boys High School. It is yet to be established if the fire was set off by students or outsiders. Meanwhile, students at King David Kamama Boys in Embu North Sub-County have been sent home after fire gutted down a dormitory in the school. The latest incident comes a day after the government warned of tough measures in the wake of rising unrest in schools.
During the Kisumu Boys Inferno, a dormitory was razed to the ground and property worth hundreds of thousands of shillings destroyed. No student was injured during the incident. Investigations to ascertain the cause of the fire are underway.
The fire burned down a dormitory that is used by close to 60 students, mainly Form 1s and some Form 3s. Preliminary investigation reveals that no life was lost, but nothing was salvaged.
In Embu County, over 800 students at King David Kamama Boys have been sent home after a fire burnt down a dormitory. The fire is reported to have started at around 11 p.m. on Monday. Nothing was salvaged from the inferno and no casualty reported. Embu Deputy County Commissioner said a preliminary report showed the fire was allegedly set by rowdy students who wanted to go home.
Mwalimu anatuarifu kwamba walianza vurugu siku ya Jumapili, lakini hawakuonyesha dalili yoyote siku yote jana. Lakini muda ya kulala ilikuwa saa 4 ndivyo walianza vurugu hii na bweni likaweza kuchomeka.
Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha on Monday said the government will crack the whip on defiant students in efforts to ensure learning runs smoothly in institutions across the country. Caroline Kamar reporting for Channel 1 News.
And now the government has begun the construction of a multi-million shilling police leadership academy that is set to boost the capacity of law enforcement officers in undertaking their duties. President Uhuru Kenyatta, presiding over the groundbreaking ceremony in Kajiado, said the construction would not only boost the region's economic prospects but employ hundreds of youth, but will also ensure law enforcement officers are well equipped to tackle emerging security threats.
Tuesday afternoon in Kajiado County. President Uhuru Kenyatta was the chief guest at the groundbreaking ceremony of a police leadership training institution. It is here that the president pointed out that the institution will ensure law enforcement officers are well equipped to deal with emerging challenges.
The institution is tipped to act as the public's guardian of excellence in policing that will provide a framework to enable a transformation of the culture of learning in the police service. To note that once this academy is complete, it will be a premier center of excellence for police strategic leadership through advanced training as well as research.
Inspector General of Police Hilary Muchembai said the institution offers an ideal training ground for senior police officers, sentiment echoed by CS Dr. Fred Matiang'i.
We are stepping now higher, the quality and the capacity of training being given to the police officers, because we want to police a 21st century Kenya, which is requiring very dynamic approach to the manner in which we provide security.
Kajiado Governor Joseph Olenku pointed out that the project will improve the region's economic prospects.
It will also enhance our security for this area, and it will become one of the many triggers and enablers of our economy here in Kajiado.
The construction is set to be completed by the end of 2021, with its official opening slated for 3rd January 2022. Yusufar, Channel 1 News.
And elsewhere, ODM leader Raila Odinga has urged the youth not to be hoodwinked in the ongoing hustlers versus dynasty narrative, arguing that the youth deserve long-term solutions to challenges bedeviling them. Odinga, who met university student leaders in Nairobi, argued that the hustler narrative is divisive and should be treated with contempt to avoid disharmony in the country.
ODM leader Raila Odinga has poked holes on the hustler versus dynasty political narrative. The ODM leader says the narrative is being used as a gimmick to hoodwink the youth into buying unsustainable political agenda.
Sloganeering is a very dangerous thing. Therefore, our people must not allow our country to go to the dogs.
Raila urged the youth to properly vet politicians before endorsing their political manifestos.
You have a responsibility to rescue this country from those who want to destroy this country and make Kenya become a great country.
I urge you that together we stand together in this great journey in trying to make the Building Bridges initiative work.
Meanwhile, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission has completed the certification of candidates for the Machakos senatorial by-election. On Tuesday, candidates made their last-ditch efforts to meet the deadline set by IEBC as the race to succeed the late Boniface Kabaka heads to the home stretch. Among those cleared by IEBC are John Mutua Katuku of Maendeleo Chapchap, John Musingi of Muungano Party, Simon Kioko Kitheka of Grand Dream Development Party, independent candidates Francis Munyambo Musembi and Dhamba Sebastian Zau, as well as Albanas Mudhama Ngengele of United Democratic Alliance, who was cleared yesterday.
Kuambia watu wa Masaku wawachane na safari ya Canaan, tuanze kwenda safari ya Hasla ili sote kwa pamoja tufike State House Nairobi.
Maendeleo Chapchap Party leader Alfred Mutua, in drumming up support for Katuku, exuded confidence that the party shall clinch the Machakos senatorial seat.
Si tunataka kura ya sasa ya kuweza kujengea watu wetu barabara, ya kuweza kuwapatia akina mama pesa na vijana kazi.
For Channel 1 News, I'm Gladys Mungai.
Well, you're watching Channel 1 News Hour. It's time for us to take a breather, but we will be back in just a bit, so don't move too far.
Malaria ni ugonjwa hatari sana unaoua watu wengi hapa Kenya. Japo kuko na corona, hatari ya malaria bado iko. Mtoto huyu alikuwa na joto jingi, kutetemeka, kuumwa na viungo na uchovu. Alikimbizwa hospitali ya umma ambako sheria za COVID-19 huzingatiwa na ni salama kwa shughuli ya upimaji. Vipimo vilionyesha kuwa ana malaria na papo hapo daktari akampa dawa za malaria na kumshauri azimalize, na ili kujikinga wawe wakilala ndani ya neti iliyotibiwa. Malaria husambazwa na mbu. Walio hatarini ni watoto wa chini ya miaka 5 na akina mama wajawazito. Kupimwa na kutibiwa ni bure katika hospitali zote za umma. Usisahau adui malaria. Zero malaria huanza na mimi. Chukua jukumu leo. Komesha malaria. Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwenu na Wizara ya Afya.
The next episode of Ashoka.
You have become so weak, Jagannath, as if you haven't had proper food since months. Feed your father these sweets with your own hand, Kaurva. As long as he has those sweets, he would stay alive. How did so much oil spill here?
Welcome back. In other news, Kenya has reported 6 more COVID-19 related fatalities, pushing the country's death toll to 1,750. The Ministry of Health says Kenya has also recorded some 141 new COVID-19 positive cases in the last 24 hours.
A day after reporting no COVID-19 related death, 6 more people have succumbed to the disease. The Ministry of Health says the 6 deaths have driven up the country's total fatalities to 1,750. The country on Tuesday recorded 141 new COVID-19 cases, bringing the total number of positive cases in Kenya to 100,193. In a statement, the Ministry of Health said the new cases were from 3,571 samples tested, translating to a 3.9% positivity rate. Nairobi continues to lead in the number of infections with 87 new cases, followed by Kilifi with 8, Kwale 7, Taita Taveta 6, Siaya 5, Nyeri 4, while Uasin Gishu, Kericho, Mombasa and Nakuru had 3 cases each. The Ministry of Health has also announced 207 new recoveries. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization Strategic Advisory Group of Experts on Immunization has issued interim recommendations for use of the Moderna vaccine in people aged 18 years and older. The experts said it is not recommended for pregnant women to use the vaccine unless they are at a high risk of high exposure. Nancy Okware, Channel 1 News.
Now, the government will not be purchasing 500 hospital beds from 2 youth in Githunguru, Kiambu County, months after they pledged to do so. This is after a visit to the youth's workshop by the Presidential Delivery Unit revealed they had only completed construction of 1 bed and claimed another 30 beds were stored in a warehouse in industrial area here in the capital, Nairobi. Gladys Mungai with details of the visit that was meant to see the youth receive a check of 3.6 million shillings, only for it to end in a blame game.
The 2 youth in Kiambu County had shared their innovation of hospital beds that got the interest of the government, who had pledged to buy 500 beds as part of the efforts to empower the youth. Months later, the government was yet to fulfill its pledge to collect the beds, prompting the youth to turn to social media, claiming they had obtained a loan of 3.6 million shillings to construct the beds and were yet to receive payment from the government.
The project was doomed to experience challenges ab initio.
It is these allegations that prompted a visit by a team from the Presidential Delivery Unit to Kiambu County. The mission was to collect 500 beds and hand over a check to the youth for the completion of the job. However, when they arrived at the workshop, only 1 bed was in sight.
How would it be if we had that conversation proceeding about those beds, and it comes out to the public that we are engaging with a felon?
The youth, led by Gathogu Mungai in their defense, faulted the government for allegedly denying them jobs, resulting in fracas.
Because this was not the promise for the president, and actually I don't know if call it again the delivery unit, I don't know, because they have not delivered what they were sent to do.
It took the intervention of the Deputy County Commissioner to restore calm. For Channel 1 News, I'm Gladys Mungai.
Now, Lawrence Warunge, the man accused of killing his family in Kiambu, has been declared unfit to stand trial. Kiambu Chief Magistrate Patricia Gishohi directed that Warunge be detained until 1st of March, pending a second mental assessment. The court has, however, freed Lawrence Warunge's girlfriend, Sarah Modhoni, after the prosecution dropped charges and turned her into a state witness.
The main suspect of the Kiambaa family murder, 22-year-old Simon Warunge, has been declared not mentally fit to take plea. Appearing before Chief Magistrate Patricia Gishohi in Kiambu Court, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution told the court a mental assessment conducted on Monday at Madhari Hospital revealed that Warunge is not mentally fit. The court further freed Lawrence Warunge's girlfriend, Sarah Modhoni. Meanwhile, the mysterious web surrounding the Anglo leasing scandal remains entangled, with prosecution telling court of their unsuccessful efforts to unmask one Brian Mills, who is linked to the Anglo leasing scandal. Also brought to the attention of the court was how Sounday Corporation was registered in the British Virginian island, which is a tax haven, and how it was being run through proxies and was trading in the names of other companies.
To him, was the use of shell companies registered in tax haven to commit fraud.
Finally, Ahmed Nasir Diri has been charged on 3 counts of making a false document of the Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education with intent to deceive and presenting it to Lieutenant Colonel retired Amin Ali, head of the training of the 99 Flying School. He was released on a bond of 100,000 shillings, a cash bill of 50,000 shillings, and told to provide 2 contact person. For Channel 1 News, I'm Serafina Robe.
Now, the National Assembly could lose powers to vet principal secretaries before their appointment, if the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill 2020 sponsored by the BBI is adopted. The bill seeks to allow the President to appoint principal secretaries from persons recommended by the Public Service Commission. In tonight's segment of the Constitutional Review, Kevin Washira looks at the import of Clause 33 of the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill 2020.
Currently, Article 155 of the Constitution stipulates the President shall nominate a person for appointment as Principal Secretary from among persons recommended by the Public Service Commission. Once nominated, the National Assembly must vet and approve the nominee before formal appointment to office. Proponents of the BBI through the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill 2020 want to remove the requirement for vetting of Principal Secretaries by the National Assembly. Clause 33 of the bill proposes to amend Article 155 and allow the President to appoint principal secretaries from among persons recommended by the Public Service Commission. This is to ensure the public service remains impartial and ready to serve the people under government of any political formation and ensure that the accountability is administrative and technical. Kevin Washira, Channel 1 News.
And the government has banned fishing on Lake Nakuru after research by the Kenya Marine and Fisheries Research Institute deemed the fish unfit for human consumption. According to the research, the fish rots within 3 hours, while consumers interviewed had complained of skin rashes after consuming the delicacy. Details of this and other stories in the county news briefs.
The Ministry of Agriculture has asked Nakuru County Government to move in and ban fishing in the lake, whose water levels have been rising sharply in the last 1 year. Agriculture Chief Administrative Secretary Lina Chebi Kilimo says high pollution in the lake could have caused the current crisis.
Kwa hivyo nataka nichukue hii fursa kuuliza County Government of Nakuru to their Public Health Department to also check into the fishing that we understand is taking place in Lake Nakuru, because the water is in Lake Nakuru according to this report over here.
Elsewhere, farmers living with disabilities in Uasin Gishu County have received some 250,000 shillings per group to help them build capacities in production and compete favorably at the international market.
Ni vizuri tushikane ndio sauti ya wakulima katika nchi yetu ipate kusikika, kwa sababu wakulima ndio wameshikilia uchumi ya nchi yetu.
In Narok County, over 4,000 youth turned up for Community Scout recruitment drive at the Olen Timama Stadium for a chance to work with the Kenya Wildlife Service.
These are the persons who will be assisting in relaying and also disseminating information on human-wildlife conflict.
The exercise, which is currently underway in other counties, also thousands of youth turned up for the opportunity in Taita Taveta County.
We are going to take care of all the sub-counties in the county. Taita Taveta has 4 sub-counties, and out of the 4 sub-counties, every county is going to get 20 slots from the allocated 80 slots.
Finally, construction at the Nyaribo Airstrip VIP Lodge in Nyeri County is expected to be completed in July this year.
Progress of the works is quite good. It entails constructing a VIP lounge. We have electrical works, mechanical works, and also works for stormwater drainage.
The national government project, which is being undertaken at a cost of 40 million shillings, is expected to boost aviation and hospitality in the region. For Channel 1 News, I'm Jacqueline Masharia.
Now, hundreds turned up for the public viewing of the body of the late President Jerry John Rawlings ahead of his burial on Wednesday. Mourners paid glowing tribute to the longest-serving president, whose body has been lying in state at the Accra International Conference Center after his burial day was postponed following disagreements among political leaders. He died in November last year.
Years old, died in November last year. He was twice democratically elected to 2 4-year terms. Hundreds of mourners who gathered for the public viewing of his body eulogized him as a charismatic leader. He seized power rallying against corruption and was responsible for executing several former heads of state for their alleged graft and mismanagement. He was also seen as a champion of the poor, but came to be criticized for alleged human rights abuses.
Let's now focus on the day's business. And the Kenya Revenue Authority has completed the rollout of the Integrated Customs Management System, which is expected to seal tax loopholes and ease cargo clearance at the port of Mombasa. The authority says despite earlier teething problems, all cargo importers and clearing agents have been migrated to the new system that came into force last year.
Speaking during the celebrations of this year's International Customs Day, Kenya Revenue Authority Southern Region Coordinator Joseph Tonui acknowledged hiccups in the new system implementation, even as he assured that the minor challenges would not derail cargo clearance at the port.
The system is working. I think a substantial, like motor vehicles, we are clearing it, all our motor vehicles through ICMS, and the system is working. Apart from the small teething problems, which are always there and associated with new systems.
KRA's Customs and Border Control Department is currently implementing the ICMS meant to replace the 13-year-old Simba system, hoping to seal tax cheats and make trade processes seamless.
The bottom line is, as we are rolling out the ICMS system, we are running it concurrent with the old system. So where there are challenges, we are able to fall back on the old system and continue providing services to our clients.
The system, according to the Chief Manager of the Port Operations, Abdi Malik Hussein, is a game changer in facilitating trade. According to Tonui, 2020 records show that the KRA managed to surpass the revenue target in the half financial year July 2020, December 2020. For Business News from Mombasa County, I am Ann Boro.
Now, local contractors are calling on the government to increase their allocation of big-ticket projects being undertaken in the country. Stakeholders say that foreign contractors have an upper hand in handling infrastructure projects, since indigenous firms get 30% of the contracted works.
Statistics from the National Construction Authority shows that the gross domestic product from construction in Kenya averaged 50 billion shillings from 2009 until 2020, reaching an all-time high of 80 billion shillings in the fourth quarter of 2019. However, local contractors say that they have missed out on the construction pie due to unfavorable policies and regulations.
At what point do we subcontract? Is it when he's bidding? Because when he's bidding, the contractor, for example, foreign contractor, he already has a price. Then when he wins the tender, he's told offload 30% to the contractor. That we want to build local capacity. It's our desire. It's our desire to build local capacity.
Public Works Principal Secretary Major General retired Dr. Gordon Kihalangwa said that the registration of contractors with their projects has reduced the number of projects in dispute.
If you are doing a project of $1 billion and you are only supposed to register with NCA and also register with you, and maybe registration is 30, what 30% entails is that if whatever was the total cost of the project, we are saying that there are certain works that could be done by a local to a level of about 30%. That is exactly what it means. It is not going to increase, the cost of that project. So I think it is something that we need to look around.
Foreign contractors by law are required to subcontract 30% of their works to local contractors. Alan Aoko, Channel One Business.
Now, Kenya small businesses are set to benefit from a 300 billion shillings fund set up by the British Unilever. The company says the program will also help 5 million small and medium enterprises to grow their retail value chain through access to skills, finance and technology by the year 2025. Unilever Kenya Managing Director Achieng'a has further said that the fund seeks to empower women in business.
Lack of access to capital and skills has been a major challenge facing Kenyan entrepreneurs in the past. The situation has been aggravated by the COVID-19 pandemic, with the Central Bank of Kenya warning that 7 out of 10 small businesses were facing total collapse last year. The government has reached out to the private sector to help in training SMEs and availing low-interest loans. Last month, the National Treasury rolled out a national credit guarantee scheme to cushion small borrowers. British conglomerate Unilever says it has set aside 300 billion shillings to offer training and funding to small and medium enterprises. The firm has also announced a wide-ranging set of commitments and actions to help build a more equitable and inclusive society by raising living standards across its value chain. Unilever Kenya Managing Director Achieng'a says the company will also help deepen financial inclusion through initiatives such as the Jaza Duka, where SMEs are given training on business management as well as stock keeping. Under the 300 billion shillings fund, Unilever will further help 5 million small and medium-sized enterprises grow their businesses through access to skills, finance and technology by the year 2025.
And in the world of sports, former league champions I'll take that again. Former league champions Sofapaka have released 8 players just a day after the top flight transfer window opened. Nigerian forward Promise Chinoso is among the 8 players who have been released by Batoto Babungu. Former KCB defender Jacobs Faina, Brayson Juma, midfielders David Simiu and Collins Wakungu, goalkeeper Isaiah Wakasala, Ghanaian striker Jedinika Nana and Michael Karamol were also shown the door. Sofapaka President Eli Kalekwa confirmed the exit of the players, insisting he will strengthen the squad with new signings. Sofapaka currently occupy position 8 on the log with 10 points from 8 matches. Very well, it's time for us to wrap up Channel 1 News Hour, but of course there is the game that is coming up at 10 p.m. tonight. We have the Uganda Cranes who must beat defending champions Atlas Lions of Morocco in their last Group C match in the African Nations Championships in order to qualify for the quarterfinals, as well as Amavumbi of Rwanda will take on the Hawks of Togo in the other Group C encounter, which matches of course will be beamed live here on KBC Channel 1 as well as on Y24 here on KBC from 10 p.m. Of course, we're looking forward to this particular match, and we just want to find out what we should expect given that an analysis is coming up. So what should we expect tonight?
Thank you, Catherine. Na ndo hapo kizungu changu cha standard 3 kinaishia hapa mwenzangu. Siku nyingine ujaribu kuniuliza kwa Kiswahili dadangu, sawa?
I'm working on it.
Thank you. Lakini bila shaka mtazamaji, ni mechi ngumu ambayo tunatarajia, manake hili kundi la cha Morocco ambao wanaongoza na alama 4 watakuwa na menyana na Waganda ambao wako chini katika kundi hilo na alama 1. Kwa hivyo hapa ni ile dhana ambayo unaambiwa, japo wahenga walisema kwamba kuteleza si kuanguka. Hapa ukiteleza unaanguka. Manake Uganda wanahitaji kushinda ndio waweze kuendelea katika awamu ya robo fainali, lakini Morocco wanahitaji tu alama moja, kumaanisha hata sare ni safi sana kwa Morocco kwenda katika awamu ya robo fainali. Lakini kwa mengi zaidi, wacha tujiunge baada ya habari.
Sawa kabisa, tutangojea kuona mchezo huo saa 4. Kabisa.
Naam.
Well, it's time for us to wrap up Channel 1 News. Of course, the analysis is coming up, and later on, the matches will be on KBC and Y254. As always, thank you, Kenya, for watching. My name is Achieng'a. Our sign language interpreter this evening is Lucy Mwaura. It's time for us to take a look at the weather report with Yusuf Farah. Good night and God bless.
A very good evening to you wherever you're watching us from, and welcome to Channel 1 with the updates. My name is Yusuf Farah, and tonight Nyeri is the coldest, with temperatures over there dropping to 10 degrees Celsius. Rainfall is expected in the southwestern parts of the country, with strong winds of up to 25 knots blowing over Turkana County. Tomorrow morning we'll be waking up to sunny intervals in most parts of the country, from the northeastern region all the way to the coastal region, areas of the central, among them the capital city and its environs, Kisumu, all the way to Lodwar. There will be sunny intervals in the morning. As far as the afternoon is concerned, there will be a slight change in the weather, where Kisumu and Narok, there will be showers accompanied by thunderstorms over there. With the rest of the country, however, we'll be having sunny intervals from the coastal region all the way to the northeastern region, to the Lake Turkana Basin and areas bordering Kenya and South Sudan. I'll take a look at the temperatures now, where Mandera will be having highs of 37, lows of 22, Garissa highs of 36, lows of 23, and the capital city Nairobi highs of 27 and lows of 15. That wraps up your local weather focus. The international weather focus is coming up in a bit. Again, many thanks for keeping it Channel 1 until we meet tomorrow. Same time, same place. Have yourselves a lovely night.
Vera Beauty College. Vera Beauty and Fashion College, with branches in Nairobi, Eldoret, Thika and Meru. Did you know that we are a TVET approved institution? We offer courses in fashion design, interior design in soft furnishing, event decoration, flower arrangement, event planning, hairdressing, barbering and dreadlocks, beauty therapy, makeup, nail technology, spa massages, teaching skills, TOT, solo business management, and many more. Register now and visit our website on www.verabeautycollege.com. You can also call on 0725 923 550 Nairobi branch, 0728 087 689 Eldoret branch, 0722 227428 Thika branch, 0725 000 706 Meru branch. Vera Beauty and Fashion College, a TVET approved institution.
The next episode of Ashoka.
You've become so weak, Jagannath, as if you haven't had proper food since months. Feed your father these sweets with your own hand, Kaurva. As long as he has those sweets, he would stay alive. How did so much oil spill here?
Get ready for a 3 weeks Africa football feast as the new year kicks off with the 6th edition of the Africa Nations Championship in Cameroon. From the 16th of January to the 7th of February 2021, 16 teams from the continent will be spread across 3 cities as the best players from domestic leagues showcase their talents live on KBC Channel 1. Let's support our own.
Unichukulie kwa mfano ndani ya matatu.
Unajua Saturday yaandikangi hivyo.
Ni nini wewe?
Yaani mtu mzima na miaka zake hizo miaka zote. Mtu hajui kujua kuandika note. Note tu peke yake. Kusoma kweli inasaidia.
Kijana nini nakusumbua na mimi?
Nauliza ni ungwana?
Don't you dare insult me, okay?
Mama Angel,
don't you dare. Oh, please. Let the dead bury. They are dead, right?
To the Congolese, throw-in quickly executed by Prince Mapata. Prince scored or has scored Congo's only goal in the competition. An opportunity there for the Congolese, they score! Congolese have scored! The Congolese have scored! If the match were to end on the current scoreline situation, then the Congolese will progress to the knockout stages. What an upset. Let's wait for time to tell us exactly if that will be the scenario from Chapuma. And from Group B, the Libyans inside.
Mr. Kimbo.
Produce. That was supposed to be great.
Did you drink that whole bottle?
Not yet.
Do you have any idea what it's like picking up the man who calls himself your father at the police station? Hi.
Produce? Do you even get tricked with me?
Who is this friend you've been spending all this time with?
Hey, Produce. Let's do a shopping cart.
I guess I just came to talk.
To me?
It's like I could use some of that magical happiness that you always seem to have.
Feel sorry for him?
No, I feel sorry for you.
Oh, yeah!
A second with this kid, and you realize he's just like you and me.
On the next episode.
Kenya's export capacity is one that the world recognizes. President Uhuru Kenyatta continues to strengthen trade relations with other countries to create more export opportunities and jobs for the Kenyan people. This week on Project 254.
It's been really a good thing that happened to Kenya by going to the bilateral agreement with UK.
Tukipata hiyo market itatusaidia juu tutapeana alafu tushughulike na kazi zingine za nyumbani.
With incentives in place, it would be much attractive to export to the United Kingdom.
On the next episode of Ashoka.
You've become so weak, Jagannath, as if you haven't had proper food since months. Feed your father these sweets with your own hand, Kaurvangi. As long as he has those sweets, he would stay alive.
How did so much oil spill here?
Next on.
What's going on between you and...
It's none of your business.
I'm in charge of all the workers.
Then consider anything you suspect going on handled. Boss.
Kabla tuanze nionyesho kwa kulala. Leo siwezi pata gari.
Tuanzeni haraka ili uende.
Ndio nimesema nionyesho kwa kulala.
Amoja utangojea kidogo. Ulikujaga huku kufanya nini?
I think it's about time for me to have kids of my own.
So do you like her or do you want kids?
Both.
What do you know about marriage?
All you do is follow dad around like a small puppy.
You think the world revolves around you, and that's your problem.
Siku yenye nitawahi sikia umemuguza tena. Ndio utaona. Utafanya nini? Mimi nitakumaliza. Uko unakuja kuniacha vijiji. Stop.
Ndo hapo mtazamaji, watoto wa Swahilini wanatua katika studio hii.